Hello YouTube, it is at time of upload Monday the 16th? 14th, 15th, yeah, Monday the 16th. This upload was supposed to be Kingdom Hearts 2 randomizer, but right before recording I got a text message saying it seems like current version of Kingdom Hearts 2 randomizer is potentially borked, and I didn't want to see if that was a problem for me or not, so I just didn't. So we're back in Dark Souls. Hopefully they get that sorted out, because I do tend to get these things sorted out pretty quickly. We're at 123 deaths. We were at 122 at the end of last stream. I was watching a stream while farming this morning and walked off the bridge in the gutter. So those 50,000 souls that I lost at the end of last recording, those are gone. As with many things, I've probably lost 500,000 souls.
Is that here to see how?
I will run around the gutter because I missed a whole bunch of stuff, and I want to show off what I missed. I think that's it. I think Estus 10.5 is max in this game. 3 levels. Yeah, let's just give it a health. 60 more health, let's go. So, I have 2 bonfires in the gutter. I guess I mashed circle there. This one is technically illegal, and I'll explain why and fix it in 30 seconds. I skipped one enemy to show off what a mean enemy it is. So, first off, first change, I remember Cast Light exists. So, all of my farming through the gutter was with Cast Light. It was great. It was wonderful. I could see. Also, if you use the bonfire, then the spitting totems don't respawn. If you use Homeward, they do respawn. So we'll just have to remember that for the gutter. For Black Gulch. For Black Gulch, there we go. So originally when you came through here, I looked at that and I went, that seems like death. It is in fact not death. This is one half of Blighttown. This is the Drake Valley entrance to Blighttown, basically. There's some poison nonsense, but it's mostly all verticality. This chest over here actually has one of the better light armor sets in the game. It has the Aureus set, which is fairly light, fairly good defense. In Dark Souls 2 Original, this was the false Aureus set, so it was see-through. I don't remember how you get the see-through version in Scholar of the First Sin. Blighttown is awful, and Blighttown is is in every Dark Souls game. It is Waymarker 3 in Demon Souls. It is Blighttown. It is the Gutter and Black Gulch combined, and it is the Swamp in Dark Souls 3. So most important thing about coming over here is this rope. Because you get to do that. That's it. That's all that's exciting up there. You get to ride on a rope. Brings you back over here. I'm going to walk behind these guys and break this. I am using the old whip for extra damage on hollows. It one-shots enemies, it's great. So this is the area... I don't think I made any note of it when I was playing through originally. I didn't think you could drop down, but you can drop down. And there's that. There is a shadow butterfly. And that is so mean. Oh, wow. He actually has a little bit of health to him. That's it. That's the only enemy I missed. Because I wanted to show off that really mean... Not only are there shadows of hollows, there's shadows of butterflies. That is, I think, the only one. But yeah, real mean. You know what? We're not gonna refresh that that homeward, so I can't make that mistake again. What I am currently doing is... There's where the shadow butterfly was, by the way. That's the intended route. You fall down there, you jump across to these statues. I think if they shoot you as you cross this gap, this very small gap, it does knock you down. So you want to throw an explosive at them. Emit force, maybe, if you're a miracle user. And then you break the wall to get in here, is the intended route to get to this bonfire. Which is how I determined that I can light that bonfire before killing these 4 enemies. That's a little bit more than 4 enemies, actually. I think it's 6. 2. Yeah, it's 6. With the spirit of the challenge, it was a question of what is the intended route to get to the checkpoint. Because when you go from this way, you don't discover the fake wall. When you go from the other way, you do discover the fake wall. These guys die in one hit from the rapier, but I just keep using emit force for some reason. Oh, just standard force. I'm not using emit force. I keep using the whip on them because I just don't feel like changing my gear. And really, I could switch back to my claymore and lose very little, but I'm using the whip to kill one enemy through a wall. Oh, hey, this guy's gone. This guy also gone. Okay, I can switch back to my whip. I can switch back to my claymore, I mean. Buddy, I am gonna have to kill you before I can progress down. But you'll be last. We might need to make a trip to Gavlin after this, because we are racking up stuff. Okay, that guy's gone. And these two are gone. It's time to wheel and deal. Like I said, you'll be last. Once I've despawned everybody down to the gutter. Sorry, this is the gutter. Everybody down to Black Gulch, I'll come back for you. Turn the sun back on. But I also do think I need to turn the sun off, actually. The gutter, if you go through a torch and you light all the torch sites, actually becomes a really cool atmosphere. I mean, the map location still sucks. But looking off into the distance and seeing all the different torch sites, it looks really cool. All the different elevation changes. And it actually is fairly navigable without a light source once you get all the torch sites lit. Whereas normally it's just pain and misery and misery and pain. I don't need the bracer ring because I'm going on really short trips. So let's put on the red eye ring. Because most of these enemies are aggroed on you, so I don't have to worry about that. Gutter Denizen. That's what I've never heard of before. Okay, here we go. Here we go. I was trying to be a real schmuck and just keep shoving you off the edge. Game wasn't letting me have it. Game is anti-fun. Oh, the Black Witch set. Ooh, that's actually a pretty good set. Yeah, so just to demonstrate, because I've killed everything down here now, we'll use these jars. So if I climb back up, those would stay broken, but if I use Homeward, it counts as dying in terms of how it interacts with the world, and see that the poison spitter is back. So, we are not using Homeward in Black Gulch. In fact, when we get to Black Gulch, we will be removing Homeward as a spell we can cast. I forget that on ladders, R1 is punch and L1 is kick. Though thankfully, every time we've gone down to the gutter, again, not the gutter, every time we've gone down to Black Gulch, we have killed everything. I've kind of made a point to be thorough in going down to Black Gulch. So, that does work out in our favor. Get off the ladder. Wow, he lives that. But also, point of note, red eye ring makes it easier to be detected by enemies. Really does not do anything in this area. If the enemies don't feel like aggroing to you because you haven't walked to their aggro spot, they're not going to. In this bottom bit where there are dudes just standing on platforms, I think it helps. But in the gutter proper where everyone's hanging off ledges, you just have to walk by their hang spots. Did you think it was Saturday and just not go to work? Or did you pick the wrong exit? Oh, you never charged your phone. I don't know why I'm breaking that second one. It can't hit me? Okay, they do give you time to recover from that mistake. I'm going back to the whip. I need distance to hit these guys for some reason. What about the dude that I dropped down to kill? I'll just drop down and smack him with the handle of the whip. He'll be fine. Not fine. Did not aim in the correct direction. That's how that was supposed to go. Okay, Bobby, I'm gonna need a confirmation on that one. Now has breakfast tacos or has brought back breakfast tacos? I feel like they had breakfast tacos before. And if anyone would know, it'd be Bobby, who thinks Taco Bell is good. There you go, YouTube comments. There's your poll. Is Taco Bell good or is Taco Bell food? Which four-letter word is it? I would assume brought back because I started breakfast stuff in 12/13. He didn't show up because you said his name. He showed up because you said Taco Bell. I admit calling Taco Bell food is a stretch, but it is yummy nonetheless. I mean, food's a lower tier than yummy or good. Dog food and cat food are food. I'm ignoring work to make brown rice. Sir, what's there to make with brown rice? Boil water. Add rice. Come back later. Even better if you've, you know, decided to invest in a rice cooker. The objectively correct move in life. Well, that man did not hit me to stop the cast, so the cycles are wrong. Exactly. Need to concentrate on that instead of work. Okay, we got one despawn. I think I forgot to rest at the bonfire. But that's fine, because, I don't know what I did to trigger it. I think it's collecting all 4 great souls. The cat now sells infinite homeward bones. So that's actually not an issue that I had to use one. Yeah, I had to do research. Chose to do research earlier this year because we only buy long grain basmati rice. Sorry, we only buy brown basmati rice, which is like the longest cooking form of rice. And I was like, okay, well, what rice cooker would reasonably cook this? Well, we bought a bag of the same type of rice. You know, just need to go out and buy 40 pounds of jasmine rice. So it's just this dude that's left. That's unfortunate for him. I mean, brown rice is good for you, and long grain rice is better. So you combine the two and you get long grain brown rice. It just, you know, takes like 40 minutes to cook. And I always forget that I need to start it well before the meat. Because our stovetop does not boil. Okay. Everything's despawned. You did all of that for one poison moss. You killed an innocent creature that didn't harm you for one poison moss. I need to get the sound clip, point redeems. I'll talk to Bobby, figure out how to set that up. And just put GLaDOS's statement about you being a bad person. We weren't even testing for that, but it's here on the results. You know, you just need to commit more to the gambling than you currently do. You gotta bet it all. Okay, cool. They stay broken if you force. If you, So, Homeward is getting replaced with... Let's do a Mitt Force. I would have liked a second copy of Force, but I can't find one. So this is the spell that I keep confusing the two with. Let me just waste one cast out here in the open. You just shoot a soul arrow at whatever you're looking at. We want the fire whip. We want the knuckle bracing ring. We don't need the red eye ring. We don't need the ring of blades, so we'll put item discovery back on because they actually drop stuff here. And because they actually drop stuff here, I will switch back to the jester's hat. Oh, right. Fire arrow. We're gonna move forward in a really weird fashion here because the goal is to break all of these statues, which will speed up farming significantly. This pool's just gonna get it. We're gonna keep coming back here more frequently than not as we slowly work our way through this area, breaking everything. And then when we run out of spells, we'll just go back to spawn and get them again. There are no enemy on Lucatail of Mara's path. There are some evil statues, but we can let them slide. Okay, maybe we can't let them slide. Can I help you, Worm? I'm in the middle of doing some science. And the science was I'm short. Only need to do this drop once. Also, Cast Light has a much larger range than... Oh, hey, look, some of the rocks broke through the wall. Than torches. So if you're trying to find the secret paths in this area, and online they're marked messages, everyone will mark them. But if you are not online and you were trying to find them, just invest a little bit in sorcery. And use Cast Light. What are the requirements for Cast Light? You need the Apprentice Staff, which is... how much? 10. And you need Cast Light itself, which is 14, which is fine, because I think you need 12 to speak to Corellian of the Fold to buy it from him. So, 14 in, and you can have Cast Light. Very useful spell. Like, for example, you can pretty safely see that down there, and you can actually see the body that is difficult to see with a torch on that lower platform. Cast Light is just too strong. You'd think I'd remember which one of these has a tentacle monster in them, instead of just blindly burning all of them. But no, we're just gonna blindly burn all of them. These enemies are actually pretty easy to fight. So as soon as I get all of the statues broken, I will most likely switch over to just fighting them. Hello? Hello? Aim down. Stick. Thank you. When in doubt, stick it out. Or, you know, give him the stick. Oh, my feetsies are on fire. Cast light. Switch this over to Dragon Rider bow. Switch this over to Dragon Leg Sword. The fire can't hurt me. Yeah, and you can actually see the platform you need to land on with cast light, and you can't see that with the torch. Hey guys. Yep. Just getting dicked by these guys. I wanted to see if you could hide in the treasure chest room, which I think you can. Well, I gotta do all that over again now. Gotta break all those statues again. I wonder. I'm gonna check and see if, because we're not using Homeward, we're using Bonfire, if I can leave sparkling stones. Got all those. In the fire pits that have hands. And it'll stay there. Mark this one. Mark this one. Mark this one. Mark right here. Oh, that still works to the end goal. I'll let that one slide. So that one has a Manus hand in it. That one does not. That one... Maybe? I gotta see where he pops out of. Yeah, okay. So this one. Life gem. Estus flask, and poison is no more. I'm still poisoned, but it's not a concern. I can't wait for this to not do what I want it to do, and I've just wasted a whole bunch of these admittedly useless prism stones. Not that one. No. Oh, that one. Okay. Okay, that one. Ooh, hey. Are you bad? Before I get too close to you? No. Okay. And there's not one in that chest over there. So now it's time to test this theory. I know the two giants are still down there and we didn't kill them and yada yada yada. I am more interested in knowing if this works without the risk of dying to stupidity. It does work. Okay. We're gonna have a lot of copies of Dead again. I wonder if Gavin will take those. Hit that one, hit that one. And hit that one. Oh, and this one all the way here in the backfield. And that saves me a ton on poison, on fire arrows. I'm gonna go back here and just... This is where the drop is. This is where the drop is. Cast light so I can see. I am checking if... this cave over here is safe. This is less reliable than hiding on the questionable ledge. I mean, this right here isn't. This is great. I can see the man plain as day. I'm just gonna let the poison... I have 999 arrows. I'm gonna go for speed, not for ammo conservation. can, after I kill the one guy with poison, I can absolutely just cast light and just go slap them silly with the Drangleic sword. They only have like 2,000 health, and they only deal a third of your health every time they hit you. But it's important to remember, the giants are on a different spawn schedule, spawn cycle, than the puddles. And I do have backup fire. I have a pyromancy flame, so I could just do fireballs and just chuck them in. I also have a lot of fire bolts on my crossbow. It would just make transitioning between hands and giants a little bit more difficult. Because it would add a menuing in. It's easier to hug the back wall and fight these guys. I think it's 3 arrows I needed to kill him after the poison. So let me just hit him 3 times and see if that does it. I mean, I could fight him, but just shooting him with the arrows is easier. Especially when the reality is I just need to tag them 8 times. And they're dead. And then I can show you just fighting the hand straight up and not lighting the puddles on fire. They always jump out of the puddle with a lunge attack, and that leaves them open to a 1-2 hit. So as soon as you know where they are, because you've marked the puddles, it's real easy just to get in there and whack them. Now, it is important that you need to jump out of the way, because that grab has a lot more range than you think it does, and it deals a lot of damage. I think I'm going to despawn these 6 enemies, light the next bonfire, and then just use that to have a closer location to farm out the giants. Six enemies. 8 enemies. Why did you, I mean, you hit him, but why did you turn around? I don't know. Lighting that bonfire before despawning the giants feels a little against the rules I laid out, because the entrance to the giant's cave is closer to this bonfire than that bonfire is to this bonfire. So that would put the giant's route between them. So to light that bonfire and sticking to the rules, I would need to regardless, I'm killing all the hands before going and dealing with the giants again. And then after we do this, we can go into the Sanctum City. Well, we can unlock the Sanctum City. I'm not going to bum rush Flynn's ring. I'm trying to think if I even wanted to do if I even wanted to try and despawn up through that second bonfire. It would seem the end is nigh. How many times did I come through here? Let's see. Like 4? Because we didn't die to the rotten. We would have fought him earlier if I hadn't been stupid and forgot about the second jump down. And then when we did beat him, we went to Sanctum City, which respawned everything when we came back through. And we fought... I thought we fought everything, but it looks like we did not. Looks like we only fought a few things. Okay. Top half is done. Bottom half is almost done. We got 2 inkwells left. And then it's just fighting the giants. And if you aren't a fan of the sketchy ledge strategy or the giants don't cooperate with you for the treasure chest strategy, I guess I can show you the third strategy for cheesing the giants and not fighting them. Yeah, okay, cool. Now it's just the giants. So the third strategy is still a bow strategy. Same with 1 and 2. Or you can use, I think it's Dead Again. And you just let them chase you through the cave, which seems terrifying. And they got a hit off. But as you get to the mouth of the cave, they retreat. And then there you go, you've killed a giant. 8 arrows, he's dead. And their weapons have deceptive amounts of range on them. Shot that wall real good. It'll know not to mess with me again. And that strategy is admittedly the fastest strategy with this weapon. A Dragon Rider's bow +5 with poison arrows. This is the fastest way to deal with them. Because it's only 8 arrows. If you have I have, what, 30 endurance? If you have higher endurance, you might be able to rattle off faster. Or, if you are using the black bow, which is the fastest attacking bow in the game, you can really whittle them down. My PS5 character is using the black bow. It's great. For something like bleed or poison arrows, just raw attack speed is the way to go. Four. 5. 6. 7. 8. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. And 8. That was a scary attack. Shame it didn't do anything. Anyone catch how many souls these guys are worth? Also, they don't drop anything, so I should switch over to my 2.5 hat. Can you get in the elevator? And now you can see the reason I had the debate about the hidden bonfire. These elevators are arguably not as bad as other elevators. They at least always go back to start. It's just a matter of remembering left or right. Whereas if you don't send the button elevators back the way they came, you just don't have an elevator when you come back through later. Welcome back, Pat. You really do need to do stutter steps to get off that ledge, by the way. If you just walk off that ledge, you will yeet yourself into the void. Not you. Why are you leading? Okay, well that throws everything off. Not really. The other dude just needs to get hit 6 times. There's the 4. Okay, nice good loss of lock on there. 5. 6. 7. 8. What's up after Dark Souls 2? Depression. I've already played that one. Can we pick a new game? The games on the docket, and not necessarily the order they will get played, is there will eventually be a Clue Finder's 4th grade stream, because it's just a channel reference at this point that nobody has context for outside of Namine and I. Poison should kill this man. I'm gonna play through Yu-Gi-Oh! Duelist of the Rose, which is, you know, good old, you know, first generation Yu-Gi-Oh! The rules don't make sense. Don't worry about it. Kingdom Hearts randomizers will be mixed back in. I guess I'm waiting on a patch before I go into them now because there's an issue. Oh yeah, you gotta patch the patch now. Is it hard crash on going into Pride Lands, or do you go into Pride Lands and it just says Pride Lands? Because it could be Spike incorrectly patched to the game. Because if you load into a world and it just says the nameplate and it never loads in, you incorrectly patch the game. Because I did that while setting up the patches yesterday. Oh, if Equations was there trying to fix it, never mind. Oh, 4 more arrows for this guy. Did you know your options for starting cards in Duelist of the Rose is determined by your save file name? Okay, that was a dumb thing to do. I think he was at 2 and then the other guy got in the way. Yeah, it changes your cards based on your save file name. Yeah, they just tied the RNG code, the RNG seed, not code, to either a username, well, usually a username because they're all unique. So, you know, your RNG seed is your gamer tag in Dead Rising. Everybody's RNG seed is now unique because you have to have unique gamer tags. It was just another way to set your RNG seed. Aside from doing system. Usually it's like system clock time, I think is usually what it is. I can't even say that's a Colin question, because Colin's an animator. He may not have that obscure answer for me. 2 more arrows for this guy and he's dead. I know Colin has done some light game programming, but I don't know if setting an RNG seed is something that he's dealt with. I'm still not paying attention to how many souls these guys give me, but it feels like a lot. Instead of playing Duelist of the Rose on my PS2, which I have a component hookup in my capture card, streaming PS2 games is super easy. Actually, my component hookup has a PS3 connection, so I have a means to strip HD content protection from my PS3. But if I didn't, I could just use S component cables. To stream PS3 games. But I'm gonna do yeah, it wasn't capture card issues, it was just my source switcher was being annoying, and I just wasn't gonna fight it. That was risky. Yeah, component cables are red, yellow, white. I'm actually gonna look by my TV real quick. Yeah, it's red, yellow, white, and then S video is a instead of it being a single port, it's a bunch of different prongs. It carries more information. I was really hoping I killed these guys before I walked away. Two, three. Good hit. 4. That's 4. 6. And that's it. I was trying to pay attention, I still didn't see how many souls I got. I mean, I'm going up like 100,000 a round. So I guess... Yeah, not 100,000. I'm going up 10,000 a round, so 5 to 6K seems correct. I put an extra 0 in there for some reason. I mean, these guys are just mini bosses. Is all they are. But when it's time to do Duelist of the Rose, we'll just put in whoever's here in chat. We'll just put their names in and see what cards we get and see who we want to use. And when things go poorly, we can blame that member of chat. Oh, okay, that's 4 hits. Good to know. 5, 6, 7, 8. And now we just kind of tuck around the corner and wait for him to die. 5,953 souls. I mean, most of the starting decks are just bad. The main function of the game is when you beat an opponent, every card in their graveyard is put onto a slot machine. If there are not enough cards on the slot machine, it is padded out with False Trap, I think? Yeah, it's padded out with False Trap. So, if you win quickly, you just end up with a buttload of false traps. And not only do you suffer through the early guys, hoping for good drops, as Namine points out, each card has a card point value that determines your deck value. And if your deck value is higher than the opponent, you cannot fight them. If you drag on the fight to get as many things as possible, you also end up filling the roulette wheel with the garbage from their deck. So like Tristan and his stupid happy eggs. It's actually pretty straightforward. Once you get into the groove of things, it just kind of goes. But explaining the rules outside of context, well, without context, yeah, it sounds like a nightmare. I have not been paying attention to how many arrows I've shot this guy with, so I'm going to shoot him twice and move on. We haven't even gotten to the best part of the game, which is early Yu-Gi-Oh! Fusion, in which there is no fusion card. I think this is an abnormal poison, so I'm gonna shoot him one more time. I wonder if I can find a guide somewhere for the fusions. You literally just select every card in your hand and hope for the best. And then you watch and you remember what fuses in your deck and what it fuses into. Because sometimes it's a downgrade because fuck you. It's really weird. So it's like, if you fuse a warrior and a fire card, you'll get Flame Swordsman. Unless that warrior or that fire card has special conditions for fusions attached to it, in which case you get nothing. My big one is I just fuse Warrior and Beast hoping for Neko Warrior, because it's something like 2,400 attack points, and you just go from there. Oh, hey, they're gone. Yeah, let me pause real quick and see if there's like Yu-Gi-Oh! Duelist of the Roses. Oh, whoops, I actually wanted that complete. Fusions. There's a whole bunch of card passwords. Nah, I don't want any of that. Yeah, okay. Here's a really... Does this website have a date on it? No, it does not. There you go. Good luck figuring out your life in that. Yeah, and because he is leaving early, I assume part of that 400 million is the 250 million he gets as part of his contract, where if a merger forces him out, he gets $250 million. Yeah, but as you can see on that, on the link, and YouTube, I'll put the link in the description if I remember. I've already closed it, so let me go open it again real quick. Open link. Well, yeah, that's, you know, asked to stay on until the end of the year for part of the merger so they can figure out corporate structures. You see on that cheat sheet you have, sometimes it's monster type plus monster type equals fusion, And sometimes it is specific monster plus monster type equals fusion. And if you want to get really confusing, scroll all the way to the bottom and find Vermilion Sparrow, in which case it is Flaming Swordsman plus Beast is Vermilion Sparrow. And the way you get Flaming Swordsman is through another fusion. So if you're just using everything in your hand and you accidentally do Warrior plus Fire plus Beast, you go from Flaming Swordsman, which is a decent card, to Vermilion Sparrow, which is not. I did light this bonfire, correct? Yeah, dude, Yu-Gi-Oh! Duelist of the Rose is a fucking mess. And I am here for it. It's such a good game. I think it's the same fusion system that is used in Forbidden Memories 5-card, where you just kind of like throw your entire hand into nonsense and hope something happens. Five card does do that. Okay, yeah. Oh, and I haven't even talked about the best part of Yu-Gi-Oh! Duelist of the Rose. So you have your deck leader, which is a monster that has special attributes. And the way a monster is promoted to deck leader outside of your starting one is you win a lot of fights with them. It's very common to get the ability to use a fusion monster as a deck leader, but because you physically do not have that card, it can't be a deck leader. And your deck leaders have levels where they gain more effects. So it's really just, you need 2 copies of a card and you need to spam those cards effectively. It is a shit show. Your starting deck master will almost never level up because you'll never see that card again. Yeah, I mean, Xbox is really good at backwards compatible this generation and last generation. On the Series and the One. So it wouldn't surprise me if we saw PS2 era Spyro games show up. Okay, we're at 30. Let's start raising our in. Okay. Now for the worst part. Where's Shaded Woods? Dawn of the Dragon is Legend of Spyro series. To my knowledge, the entire Legend of Spyro series is on the 360. And if that comes to backwards compatibility, well, we gotta play it, because I already played all the other Spyro games on stream. 1, 2, 3, Hero's Tale, and Enter the Dragonfly have all been played on stream. I give it a 5 for the execution. I give it a 0 for the landing. These guys actually drop some stuff, so let's switch back to the Jester hat. I'm gonna break this jar, and then... Oh, hey! Hey guy who I've forgotten about. I don't need the staff for cast light anymore, so get rid of that. We're gonna rest at the bonfire and see if the curse jars respawn. Because if we can get rid of all the curse jars, that will make farming this area so much easier. And remember, the area after this, Doors of Pharros, we don't have to farm because the enemies in Doors of Pharros do not despawn. As part of their involvement with the Covenant and its drops, they don't despawn for some reason. I say for some reason because the Covenant of Champions exists to remove the despawning mechanic, and also it makes the game slightly harder as a result. It adds in some static phantom encounters. So I am unsure why Doors of Pharros and Grave of Saints are not part of the despawn mechanic, but they aren't, so they won't be farmed in this playthrough. Unless I decide to go and get all the magics, in which case I will have to farm them rat tails. Rat tails, not as fun as dragon tails. Also, there is no way, as much as I would love to see it, that Toys for Bob makes Enter the Dragonfly. Not gonna happen. I'd love to see him do it. Put the game on a functional engine, because that's its biggest problem. But there is so much ill will towards that game just due to, I think at that point it was Activision butchering it, that there's no way it's getting redone. Oh, hey! Where's my ability to dodge like that when I'm playing Gungeon? Ugh. Man, that's annoying. Oh yeah, my offline games recently have been Enter the Gungeon, The Binding of Isaac, and Just Cause 4. Playing Isaac and Gungeon at the same time leads to some weird muscle memory issues. And also, I am a lot better at Isaac than I am at Gungeon. I did see that they are adding online multiplayer to Isaac. Because they were talking about it in Ray's stream when Ray was playing Gungeon the other day. He started a new save file for Gungeon. It is part 20 of his Gungeon series. And they were talking about how Isaac's adding it. And it'd be really cool if Gungeon could add it, but unlikely. Man, everyone thought they were done with Isaac after, what do we have, Repentance, I think is the current one. But no, they're still going. They're still, still going. This online multiplayer update is the first thing in ages. But both games have had local multiplayer since... I don't want to say launch, but they've had local multiplayer for most of their existence. And as time goes on, that statement becomes more true, if it is not already true. It's just unfortunate that the local multiplayer for Gungeon is the second player is always the cultist, who is just specifically built for multiplayer, which is kind of lame. And then the big thing in Gungeon is beating the pass with every character once. Versus Isaac, where you have to beat every boss on hard mode, but you can also just start by beating every boss on normal mode to learn about them. You still get unlocks and progress through normal mode. But once you beat the cultist pass, I mean, really, once you beat any character's pass, there's no reason to run them again. With Gungeon, your goal is to beat every character's past, the Lich, which I think you only need to beat the Lich once. If you're really, I think if you're really smart, you only do one Lich run, and that is with Paradox. Because you have to beat the Lich with Paradox to unlock a Gunslinger run, and then you have to beat the Gunslinger's Past. But I don't think you need to beat the Lich for the unlock requirement for Paradox to show up. And you also need to beat Resourceful Rat and Advanced Dragon, again, once. If you're going for a complete run of the game, which is to say unlock the finished gun, you do need to beat Resourceful Rat and Punch-Out, which is really hard to do. But if you're just going for all achievements, you don't need to beat third phase of Resourceful Rat. You just need to beat second phase. Third phase being Punch-Out, second phase being, I'm not going to say what it is if you don't already know. It's a really, really funny second phase. It's also like a straight up bullet hell, but most boss fights in that game are some level of bullet hell. Resourceful Rat just takes the cake. Who are you attacking, sir? I'm gonna be so happy when Shaded Woods is done, because that only leaves Brightstone Cove, Seldora, and then we are finally into new content territory. And I have bonfires in all 3 DLCs already, so yeah. Unfortunately, Brightstone Cove, Seldora does not unlock us any additional content that we don't already have unlocked. It's literally, we get there, we light the bonfire, and we leave. Same as with, I forgot to go to the bonfire and reset. Same as with the Lost Sinner. There is nothing extra there, it's just, you beat the game. Well, you beat the boss. Go back to Majula. Whereas Black Gulch and Iron Keep have Sanctum City and Broom Tower behind them. And I guess if you want to get technical, you need to beat all 4 Great Souls to unlock Frozen Ilium Lois and the unlock keys in Castle Drain Leg. But as we've established ad nauseum, you can also just farm 1,000,000 soul memory and not fight the bosses. Which I think we actually were really close to 1,000,000 soul memory before beating Lost Sinner. Oh, hey, that guy's despawned from all of our runs at Brightstone Cove, Seldora. But just circle back around to where this train of thought started. Yeah, no, Bobby, if you ever want to do multiplayer Isaac, I would be down. I don't know if it's your cup of tea or not. I think where I'm at in my save file right now is getting everybody through hard mode It Lives, and then just kind of wherever that path takes them, I follow. So I've got the lamb killed on some characters. I've got boss rush killed on some characters. I beat Delirium, but I beat Delirium on a victory lap, so it doesn't count. Yeah, PlayStation is, I think, the only platform I don't own it on. I've got Repentance on Steam, and I've got it on Xbox. That guy is gone. I'm also doing a lot of mental checklists to keep track of where all the enemy spawns are. Because this area has everyone on different cycles. From me dying once to the boss, and then making multiple trips into Brightstone Cove Seldora. So no one's on the same spawn pattern here, and it's gonna be a little annoying doing cleanup. But the good news is, once we finish cleaning up, we are going to run right past Gavlin so we can sell all of our garbage out of our inventory. We do have to make a slight detour to grab Great Rat Seif's bonfire before heading into Brightstone Cove Seldora. You're still spawned. I'm going to despawn you. Because you're just wasting my time. Huh. I guess he took that as a threat and decided not to come back. I've also never played co-op Isaac. I know in earlier versions of the game, there were unlocks tied to beating Isaac in co-op. I think there is unlock tied to it now, not unlocks plural. Oh, I'm wearing a stupid ring. No, never mind, I took it off. I'm wearing a stupid ring. I don't need the bracer ring. I was using that just for the whip to break stuff. Oh, you die in 4 hits. You die in 3 hits, my bad. It's a dabbing Poliwhirl or a dabbing Poliwrath. I can't tell. Polyworld, okay. You know the worst thing about this? As I get closer to the goal of going through Castle Drang Lake, there's 2 pursuers waiting in Castle Drang Lake for me, and I don't want to hang out with them. Nah, we'll keep doing our weird figure 8. I was debating if I wanted to, just respawn them and do them as 2 separate circles, like I did in the gutter, but the weird figure 8 works. You know, you got a barrel, you got a whooper, and you got a Paris? Pausers. No, it's LeChonk. I had to zoom in on him. LeChonk. I was about to say Game Freak really dug deep on that one, but I was on TA last night, and there's a petition that Mojang cancels the mob vote each year. So every year before Minecraft Live, Mojang has the community vote on what they want the next mob added to the game to be. And they want, the community wants it canceled because certain content creators are intentionally sabotaging the vote, encouraging their followers to mass vote the one in last place. And also it's, you know, 3 mobs, and the 2 that loses the vote are then promptly added to the game by modders anyway. So why can't Mojang just add all 3? That's where that thought ended. It was not cut off by ads. That's just where that thought ended. Yeah, that's part of the sentiment. It's like, you've already gone through enough of the development cycle to make these ideas presentable to be voted on. You've already spent resources on them. Just finish the implementation and give the community 3 new mobs a year instead of 1 new mob a year and potentially nothing else. There was an argument being made that Mojang is resting on its laurels and letting modders pick up the slack for keeping the game developing at a brisk pace, but if you're not in a position to use mods, or you just don't use mods, then Mojang putting the development work in the modder's lap doesn't help you as a player. I think the last mob that won was the Oxalotl. Which, you know, objectively correct choice. It's an Oxalotl. But, like, what do you do then? If someone's gonna come in here and tell me the Oxalotl lost, it just don't. Don't want to hear about it. I choose to believe the Oxalotl won. It's what Bethesda does with all their games. It's not just Starfield. You know what the most maybe not the most. One of the most popular mods in Fallout 3 is? Iron Sights. It was added to New Vegas as a, like, big selling point. The game has iron sights, but it didn't exist in Fallout 3. In fact, since they reused basically all of the models from Fallout 3, some guns just don't have usable iron sights at all. You really cannot ADS with the laser pistol, because it was just never designed to have laser sights on the model. And I think that carries over into Fallout 4 as well. I think iron sights on the laser pistol is a reflex sight mod. Mod in Fallout 4 referring to the in-game modification system, not external mods like in Fallout 3. I don't know. I haven't gone back to Fallout 4 in a while. I got all the achievements on Xbox, and I moved on with my day. As usual, the worst achievements in the game were Far Harbor. Far Harbor is the best expansion in the game, but it's the worst achievements. The reason Far Harbor is the worst achievements is because Uncle Kenny is prone to glitching, which messes up the homesteading achievement. And the Islanders' almanacs are prone to falling through the world, which messes up another achievement. So you just have two achievements that are prone to glitching. I can be mad that my playthrough, I got the 20 magazines and a few story achievements while Xbox achievements were down, so I had to make another save file to get those achievements, but that's not a Bethesda problem, that's a Microsoft problem. Which, given the current state of things, is a Bethesda problem. Same company. But it was absolutely because the achievement server was down and it didn't unlock, and there was no way to try and force it to unlock. That dude's still up there. I really wish that guy would despawn. That would tell me the end is at least approaching. Okay, just give me another enemy as despawned, so I can have some level of hope. Normally I would say just despawn one enemy to figure out how many cycles are left, but all of these enemies are on different cycles. There's a lot of skipping enemies to go forward to Duke's Dear Freya. There were just routes. The dude by the chest was only recently added to the pool for despawning because he was petrified. This dude was petrified. He's on a different cycle than the guys around him. So counting how many times I despawn, it takes to despawn the lion that was petrified in the chest wouldn't help me. Because the number would be less. So while I would know the maximum number, it wouldn't tell me how many are left. It could be like, that one has 8 more spawns left, but everything else has 4. So I would not have gained information that I deem useful. And then I don't remember if that one was unpetrified last, or if the first lion going to the second half of the loop was unpetrified last. So I don't know which one is really the benchmark for what the upper limit is. It's just not a worthwhile proposal. That said, in Brightstone Cove, Seldora, the camp bonfire, the first bonfire of Brightstone Cove, will be split into 2 different paths. Because there's the walkway down to the church, and then there is the encampment. And I know those are on 2 different cycles because I did the encampment once to get all the items in the Mimic. But the path down to Prowling Magnus bonfire I've gone down that path several times. So all those enemies are on a different cycle. And they're not really connected in a worthwhile way. It would make more sense just to do the encampment and then go down the path to Prowling Magnus. And really just go down the path and try and get all the way to Freya. and then homeward back to the encampment, and just keep doing it over and over and over again. Between the greatsword, the rapier, and the Black Knight halberd, I think I have more than enough weapon durability to make that trade. And if not, I have probably 100 different weapons that I could use. We're just clearing out trash mobs. We're not doing anything strenuous. So if I have to go back to double clubs, double axes, double scimitars, and double knives from the beginning of the game, who cares? It would at least be something different than me just going around with the greatsword whacking everybody. Right? These dudes die in one hit. I don't know why I swung twice. There's no point to do that. Oh, and of course we have the Dark Delver. Ugh. That's real unfortunate in my future. So the first location you have to beat for Dark Delver is in Castle Drawing Lake. It's by the first bonfire in Castle Drawing Lake. But I think I will hold off on that until I'm done with Nasandra. Because usually I don't fight Dark Lurker until after Nasandra. It's not a fun fight. I feel like the moveset on Dark Lurker is pretty cheap. And more importantly, every fight with Dark Lurker costs 1 humanity. Okay, this guy's gone. Let me redact that statement real quick. Fine, we're dead. Who cares? Not redact, retract. Every fight leading up to Dark Lurker also costs 1 humanity. And there are 2 fights prior to Dark Lurker. So if you're just getting farmed by Dark Lurker because, hey, it's not a fun fight, and you're also getting farmed by the fights leading up to Dark Lurker because you're in a small room fighting some very famous Dark Souls 1 bosses, well, mini-bosses, have fun, nerd. It's not even Dark Souls 1 bosses. You're fighting the Yellow Turban from Demon Souls. You're fighting Hovel the Rock. You're fighting Ricard. And you're fighting... I think his name's Alva. The dude with the curved greatsword from Black Witch Zuli's story. I think it is Wanderer Alva. The dark is just, hey, remember these characters from Dark Souls 1? Okay, that guy's gone. We're making progress. The chameleon's gone. Okay, making more progress. Okay, these chameleons are gone. Even more progress. It is important to note that we are making progress and not bacon pancakes. We could be making bacon pancakes. Okay, step away from that area to reduce our curse. Got cursed. Better than the Dark Souls 1 mechanic, and I think even original version of Dark Souls 2 used it as well, where if you got full curse, you just died. And then you lost a bunch of your maximum HP. Okay, that dude's still up there. That guy's gone. That guy is gone. Okay, we're making more progress. It looks like these guys are gone. These guys are gone. Is the Lion Knight gone? The Lion Knight's gone. Okay. All the chameleons are gone. We're getting there. We are getting there. Is this guy gone? This guy's still here. Okay, we currently only have 3 spots to check. Good jump. 4 spots to check. Because this guy is also gone. So what does that mean? We almost botched that jump because I wasn't fully paying attention. We changed the route that we go. The old route doesn't make sense when you can just go backwards and hit all the enemies in question. To be fair, going backwards and hitting all the enemies in question, I think was always the better route. I just didn't do it. Because you didn't have any weird double backs in this route. Yeah, this was always the better route. Like, objectively better. Okay, we're down to our last 2 enemies. Sorry guys, I was leading you on an inefficient route that entire time. There's a lot of time lost. Okay, are we done? Are we free? This dude over here. Okay, cool, we're done. And I will say it again, just so that people don't forget when they are watching this footage back. The Doors of Pharros, the next location, does not despawn. I can fight them until I'm blue in the face. It will not change the fact that they will always be there. So we are just lighting the bonfires in there because we've already defeated all the bosses in that area and moving on. Doors of Pharros and Grave of Saints don't despawn because of an interaction with the Rat Covenant, and I have no clue what makes them special, because it doesn't make any sense at all. So we have that bonfire. Oh, right, I'm in the Rat Covenant, so they don't attack me. Right, totally forgot about that. I did the same thing I always do. Never mind, you have to go through this entire area. I thought I was being dumb. No, you have to do that. It's this one where you can immediately detour. There's the Rat King. Okay, Gavlin, let's see if I have any drops that I need to sell you. Oh yeah, you find a spare pyromancy set down in the gutter. Yeah, Blackwitch Zuli, Alva the Wayfarer. Yeah, so you get invaded by, not invaded, you get attacked by Alva in the Dark Lurker trials. I actually could have gotten more Prisoner's Tatters if the gutter wasn't terrible and most of the drops fell through the floor. But the gutter is terrible and most of the drops fell through the floor to be inaccessible. I'm curious, the enemy I tried to farm to check for despawns was not in this first room. Let me check if the enemies that stay hostile despawn. We're gonna ignore the mammoth because he's a little bit harder to kill. This is our test subject. He's at 2. Let's go ahead and bump that up to 5. Why 5? Because there's been at least 2 trips through here, and he's been backstabbed each time. Six. 7. I really should put Homeward back on. The count will be 16. That doesn't feel faster than just walking back here. Nine. Okay. Well, bad news. Going through that alcove, things don't despawn, but out here, things do despawn. So, let's get to work. Does that mean the bonfire behind the Mastodon is technically illegal? Yes. At this point, do I care because it's such a long walk from the other bonfire? No. So the answer seems to be enemies that have a unique interaction with the Rat Covenant don't despawn. For some reason. Man survived on 1. Well, let's make sure that never happens again. And this is... okay, cool. Got a handful of enemies we need to kill to despawn. I don't need emit force for anything, so what if I turn emit force into a lightning spear? And what if I turn cast light into a lightning spear? And what if I just started chucking lightning spears at this dude? Okay, we're gonna despawn the Mastodon real quick. That'll make this bonfire legal. We'll pick up all the items he drops later. Assuming he never kills us, which he won't, because we're good. We won't have to worry about his items despawning. Now, how do we make... How do we make this better? Shortens cast time, absolutely. Increases faith. And I think those are the only relevant rings that I have. Yeah, okay. It reduced the cast time enough that the damage now stacks, instead of it being 3 separate instances of just under 300 damage. Just under 400 damage? What does this do? Just under 400 damage. So yeah, I just need to, funny enough, what I'm doing is I'm using the Jester Hood as a pair of sights. So I'm lining up the elephant between the 2 points on the Jester Hood, and then I just start firing until lock-on happens. And then once the elephant is despawned, I have to switch back to my normal setup, which is now. I'll leave the 6 lightning spears, though. We want restoration, and we want Ring of the Evil Eye. Switch back to homeward, and it's just, what, 4 enemies? Oh yeah, we switched to the Ring of Blades +1, because that dude survived on 1. And maybe it'll kill these dudes with 1 backstab? Yeah, okay. Ring of Blades +1 is the correct choice. And that's the last enemy in this area. So at least this is an easy area to despawn. It only has 6 enemies. Because everybody that way is part of the Rat Covenant. And they don't despawn. Because they're part of the Rat Covenant. I still don't know why that works, but for some reason them being coded as friendly when you're in the Rat Covenant somehow makes it so they don't despawn. I don't know. As I learn more about despawns in this game, I understand less. Like, I've never seen the gutter denizen before. I decided to despawn the gutter. And then you have the boar in Majula that after you despawn them are replaced with larger sized boar, which after you despawn them are replaced by largest sized boar, which only has one spawn. And why is that mechanic never used again? Oh, if you're wondering why the cat icon is on my buffs bar, even though I'm not wearing the cat ring, it's because the Jester's Tights give you the falling effect. But the cat icon doesn't show up for the butterfly tights. The butterfly skirt does not give you the cat icon on your bar for some reason. I don't know. Maybe it's considered a unique effect by the game, and they just never made a buff icon for it. No clue. But it's these four dudes between us and Brightstone Cove Seldora. They just need to learn to not exist anymore. Didn't get a clean hit on him, that's why I took 3. Oh, we got the hammer. Nice. Really like the hammer. A makeshift weapon created from a blacksmith's anvil. But yet it has really high durability. Crafted rather shoddily, but has 80 durability. So it is in fact more durable than some of the swords in this game. Including the one I'm using? Yeah. My Drangleic sword only has 70 durability. Okay. So did you watch your safety video? Was it the hand safety video? Because there's one safety video you hate above all else, and it's the hand safety video. So it was a pretty safe guess of why you didn't watch your safety video. Don't you dare push me backwards any further. That was on me for being dumb, but I would have been mad at the game if it pushed me off. I mean, that's how a lot of my training modules go. You just put them on in the background. How do you get a slicing injury on a forklift? That's a crushing injury. Okay. That guy's gone. This guy is still here. That's kind of annoying. Do you guys not use rounded prongs on your forklifts? They should be smooth, rounded edges. Like, you can impale someone going at speed with the forklift. But I'm pretty sure the prongs are just made with a rounded end on tube steel. No, your shift ends in 10 minutes. You cannot go home. Though once we get to Brightstone Cove Seldora, I'm going to call this one a little bit shorter. Because for some reason my shoulder is killing me. And I have to do farm work on Sunday. So I don't want to exacerbate the issue. We're almost to the goal. That man is still there. I'm trying to figure out... I went to Gavelin here maybe twice. I'm trying to figure out where this giant gap in spawns is coming from. In Doors of Pharros, no. Doors of Pharros is free. In the Rat Covenant side, the rats deal toxic damage, which toxic and petrify, so they're a real son of a bitch. So it is fairly easy to die on that half. But on this half of Doors of Pharros, no. The enemies have such long animation windows that backstabs are pretty free. They take a lot of backstab damage. I understand why that guy's on a different cycle because, whoops. But I don't know why these dudes were like 4 more kills than the guys in the entryway. Especially since I didn't die to Great Wolf Seif. So maybe they were on 2 extra cycles for me killing them before going through here to fight Great Wolf. And then, of course, the initial time I came through here, the initial time I came through here, I killed everything. Because it was a Gamba if I could make it to the next boss without dying. From Scorpionus. And I made it to the door for Great Wolf Seif, but I didn't fight him because he was an optional boss. And then I made it to Prowling Magnus and the Covenant. And then fought them and returned to Majula. After beating, the NPC just past Prowling Magnus. So yeah, I have no clue. Did I go to Gavlin that many times? I don't feel like I did. Brightstone Cove, Seldora. Just take a moment to look at all of the progress we've made. We've cleared out everything from Things Betwixt at the start of the game to Lost Sinner to the Old Iron King to the Rotten, and now we are on our way to Freya. Of just despawning every single enemy in the game that is not associated with the Rat Covenant. That is now the asterisk. Rat Covenant enemies cannot be despawned, but everybody else can. I am gonna snooze these ads so that we don't have another ad break while I'm wrapping up. But we are gonna end this a little bit early, so YouTube, thanks for watching. This one's only 3 hours. Sorry about that, but like I said, for whatever reason, my shoulder is starting to hurt me from, I guess, pulling my shoulders in while I'm gaming. I don't know why I'm doing that. It's the only thing I can think of. And I gotta do farm work on Sunday, so I don't wanna overdo it. My shoulder's telling me to stop, so I'm gonna listen. Thanks for watching, YouTube. Next time should be the end of farming. Ideally, before we start Monday's stream, in that 4-hour block between 8 a.m. and noon when I'm just awake and doing things, I can farm the entirety of Brightstone Cove, Seldora. I don't think that's gonna happen. I think what's gonna happen is I'm gonna end up at the bonfire after... the bonfire at the bottom of Sandtown. And that is where you will find me at the start of the stream. So that's what I'm expecting. Let's head back to Majula and get our death count for the end of the stream. We started at 123. Let's see what we're ending at. 125. We died twice. Who did we die to? We died to the Giants. And I don't know who else we died to. But we died twice. So, YouTube, thanks for watching. 125 is where we end off. If I do a lot of farming, I will do the intro similar to the other day of 8 o'clock. I say where I'm at, what my goals are, and then I cut to noon. So, YouTube, thanks for watching.